Hey, what's going on, guys? This is the SS Ultimate Goku back with another video, and wow, today I'm gonna do my RWBY Volume 5, Chapter 11, aka Episode 11 review, and it was pretty shocking. We'll get into that in a second. A little late right now on this because I've been kind of under the weather today, but we'll get to this. So this episode starts off with basically the entire Crow gang, the heroes, I guess. I mean, all of them basically. I guess we could just basically say everybody but Sun and Blake at this point. But they basically go to the headmaster place or whatever. Um, and you see the headmaster, he's like on top of the stairs or whatever there. And then, you can see they're talking for a second, and then you see Yang actually points it out, the Raven, because Raven can transform into a Raven, and she knows this. So he's like, Mom. And so then Raven transforms back in there, and he basically confronts Crow. Crow's like, you have the Spring Maiden, let's work together or whatever, and stuff like that. And he's like, no, and or she's like, no, and then like she cuts the portal, so Cinder, uh, Mercury, Emerald, and the Spring Maiden, surprisingly, come there. Very risky, if you ask me, there, to leave the Spring Maiden with Cinder like that. I think that's a little risky there. Well, before this, I should say, before the portal, Ruby tries to, like, convince Raven to join, and Raven was like, you're so like your mother or whatever. And then she does it, and Cinder actually shot a fire attack at Raven, or not Raven, at Ruby. So they basically ask, like, how long you've been with them, and Cinder's like, oh, she's only been with us recently. And then she talks about Lion-O, who basically, or Lionheart, I'm sorry, who's basically been with us from the beginning for a long time and been giving us all the info and stuff. So they basically were double crossed. Um, so the fight basically, well, John basically goes nuts. Like, he's ready to, like, fight Cinder. So that's kind of how that goes. Like, he decides to fight Cinder because he's like all pissed off, and Cinder's like, "Excuse me, who are you again?" All sassy and stuff like that. So they start fighting. Weiss went up against the Spring Maiden, and then we had Emerald was going up against Ruby. And Ruby at one point even had said, like, why are you, like, helping Salem? And it's like, I'm not helping Salem, I'm helping Cinder, I owe everything to her. And she keeps fighting. Which sort of tells me that Cinder could or not Cinder, not Cinder. I think I can officially say my theory's been debunked. Um, but what was I gonna say? Emerald basically is only listening to Cinder because of her helping her. So, and then who was Mercury going up against? Mercury was going up against. Well, Crow was going up against Raven. We know that. But oh yeah. She went up against Mercury went up against Yang. Duh. And I believe Mercury had even said, like, to Yang, it was like, "Don't you still owe me that apology?" Because of the little trap that he pulled in season one, I think it was, with the no, was it season two? It was either season one or season two. It was that tournament fight. I think it was season two, but it was the tournament fight. It was that tournament thing where he injured or Yang injured Mercury, even though it was faked. He injured the leg or whatever, and it was faked. Um, so he, kind of joked about that. So all that fighting's going on. Also, the dude closed the door. One of the Saiyan guys closed the door too and said no one's getting in, no one's getting out before they started fighting as well. And he ends up fighting with Nora and Lion or Ren because they're like, if you're with Salem, you're gonna have to fight us. And he was like, very well then. So they start fighting. He also mentions that the White Fang is about to destroy the Haven Academy, and they actually show briefly Adam like putting the bombs or whatever around the academy and stuff. So there was that. No appearance from Blake and Sun in this episode. Um, there was a scene where Oscar confronts Lionheart, and he's like, "Ospen, what are you doing?" Thinking it's Ospen, and it wasn't. It was Oscar. So he starts fighting with his cane. You hear say once it was like, "What did you do?" To Lion-O, or not Lion-O. Why am I keep saying Lionheart? Um, you know, and he's like, back off, or I'm gonna use this. There was a scene where the Spring Maiden, like, wanted to challenge Weiss, and Weiss used her big, freeze, wall or whatever. That didn't work against the Spring Maiden, so then after that, she tried to, figure out what she could do against her because, she is the Spring Maiden. Well, if Weiss takes out the Spring Maiden, like if say Weiss killed the Spring Maiden, wouldn't she get the powers of the Spring Maiden? Just saying, like that would make sense, but at the same time it wouldn't because Weiss is like winter, type power aura, so it would be kind of a weird combination to have Weiss as the Spring Maiden when she has like winter powers, so but yeah, based on what Osmond said after season 3, yeah, that would happen. Well, anyone that took out the Spring Maiden would take her powers. Whoever the last person that she looked at when she died. Um, John is fighting Cinder, and Cinder, she's just basically dominating the fight. Like, there's a lot of good fight scenes too in this, but like basically Cinder is dominating the fight, and she's like, you can't do anything to stop us or whatever. You're not good enough. And he's like, don't you hurt my friends or whatever like that. And you know, because Cinder like basically stepped on John when she took her down. RWBY tried to assist. RWBY at one point actually used the Silver Eyes again. I don't know if it was as effective because it wasn't fully activated like it was the previous time, but she took some of the people out for a second, but Cinder was still up. So yeah, with basically with John, like I said, Cinder, he was like, like as she's stepping on him, while he's on the ground, he's like, just don't hurt my friends, or like just I have to protect my friends or something like that. And then Cinder just was like, all right, you don't want to die, you rather die over your friends. So then she literally gets her stick thing and literally throws it at Weiss, and it's stabbed right through. Now, and then basically Weiss slowly falls down, and that's the end of the episode. And that this was the first episode where I literally just went up because, as I said, I'm not really feeling that good today. But when I seen that ending, I literally my mouth dropped because I couldn't believe they did that. That they went that far with it. I mean, I know we've seen Pura die, but you sort of seen it a little coming. You hoped it wasn't going to happen, but you sort of seen it coming. But with Weiss, you didn't really see that coming. So I was really shocked by that. We do not know if Weiss is dead. Um, but obviously they're expecting. Now some people are speculating that she didn't get actually hit like through the middle part of the stomach, that it was the side part of the stomach that she got hit or whatever. But it's still a mortally damaging part in the body. And something tells me because something tells me something's gonna happen to John. Now John actually had a thing for Weiss, even though Weiss doesn't really have that much feelings for John. For anyone who doesn't remember, in the beginning, before John started really coming over for Puro, who had a thing for John. So something tells me that this is gonna like activate some like hidden power for John or something like that. I think. Don't quote me on that, but I think that that's what's gonna happen because that's gonna trigger something. I could be wrong about that, of course. So, um, yeah. So yeah, Jean. We'll see what happens in the next episode. I don't exactly know if Weiss is dead or not, but hopefully she will make it through this. But we'll see. We still haven't seen anything from Neo yet. Um, Hopefully Neo's on the good side, though. I will say that because with all these villains and Raven, we're gonna need some help at this point for the RWBY or for the heroes right now. Because holy crap! But yeah, Weiss might be dead, and that would really be bad since this show is called RWBY after all. Damn. Let me know in the comment section too. By the way, what do you think? We'll put that out there. Do you think Weiss is dead or alive? Um, because this is a shocking revelation, in my personal opinion. Um, but yeah, that's basically how the episode ends. It was mostly fighting the whole time. That was mostly what this episode was. Very good fight scenes. This is probably the most shocking episode of the series. Versus like the one from 2 weeks ago. Versus two ones from 2 weeks ago, I believe, was the one where I said was probably the best one they had all year or all season. But this one was probably definitely the most shocking because Weiss could potentially be dead. Um, we're praying for you, Weiss. We're hoping you make a recovery. But it's not looking good. Uh, yeah, that was the end of the episode. A lot of interesting stuff that happened. Like I said, the biggest question is about Weiss. Um, I don't know if they're going to have the next episode about Weiss or if they're going to go back to Blake and Son, because Blake and Son didn't appear at all in this week's episode, or if they're going to focus in once again on Weiss's issue right now, and John possibly getting a new power. We'll see. But let me know what you guys let me know what you guys think. Comment right if you like this video. If you really like this video, please give me a thumbs up, like, and that's about it. I am the SS Ultimate Goku, and I'm out of here. Peace.